This band at the time was called The Big Thing. For obvious reasons, The Big Thing formed, and made this pact like, you can only die or quit to leave this band, which is kind of cool. You can't get fired. That sounds like a union job to me. Perfect.
Yeah, Chicago for life.
Shout out to the unions in Chicago. There was another big thing in Chicago too, right?
Well, you know what the big thing, where the big thing came from?
What?
It goes back to the mob thing with Chicago.
Okay.
Because apparently, they had started to play around and they were really starting to like get their sound down. And some like mob boss saw them out at some club or some shit.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Hey, I like you guys. You guys got something good. You could be the next big thing. What would be a good name for you? The next big thing."
Oh, man. And you got to say yes. That sounds like an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, the next big thing, TING. And they're just like, all right, fuck it. We don't have another name.
Exactly.
So the next big thing.
We don't want to come out here with another name and feel something else.
Yeah.
Like bullets. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
We want everyone to know that we're going far, okay?
Yeah.
So now they're really like the whole idea of the band is become a thing. It went from, what if we just did this abstract thing where we had a rock band and the horns were the lead? And it's like now it's actually happening.
Yes.
And they're starting to play clubs. But this is it's really interesting because this is always how it is. Like when you're a band starting out, nobody wants to hear your music. They just want to hear covers. They want to hear top 40, whatever.
Yeah.
So they started, doing covers of top 40 songs. Well, really, I mean, if you're a band in the 60s and you have horns, what are you going to start off playing?
Big band? I don't know.
You're going to jam to some James Brown.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's true.
that was basically how they started. Like, they started just jamming on some James Brown songs.
All right.
They're like, okay, we got something going. So they're starting playing clubs. They're playing like covers of top 40s, but they're changing it up. They're adding, horns as like separate melodies and all these things.
Yeah.
And they're starting to, get bigger.
Yes. And then they start sneaking in a little bit of their own music.
Right.
Club promoters like, what the hell is going on here?
The club owner was not happy. Well, actually, this is a little conceptual continuity for the people. Apparently, the first song they played that was something that the club owner didn't want them to play was actually a cover of a Zappa song.
Which is awesome.
They just souped it up with a bunch of horns and they just really went for it.
Yeah.
And the club owner, they were playing at this club. They were getting really big at this club that had sat hundreds of people. Like it was one of the biggest clubs in the Midwest. I don't remember what the name was.
Yeah.
And the club owner was like, first of all, he was like, I really like you guys. This is what you got to do. You need to lure the people in first.
Yeah.
When you start the show, you just do some nice little like some nice little light songs. Then they get some more drinks in them.
Yep.
Then you hit them with the heaviness, right?
Exactly. It's the lobster trap of music.
Right. And they were trying to, at this time, like, it was very much in the hippie era. Mm-hmm. And they like business people were like, oh, these fucking long-haired hippie kids, they don't want to work hard. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. You can't be having long hair playing at my club, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So they were trying to be all like clean cut. They were like wearing suits. They were trying to keep their hair nice.
A lot of mousse and gel, pull back some ponytails. Why not?
But apparently one night they were under the influence of some, how we say, mind-expanding chemicals.
That they were.
And they bought an album that had recently come out by the name of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
They did.
By a group called the Beatles. Mm-hmm. And they were like, whoa, this is crazy. And they were kind of like inspired to be like, you know what? Fuck that. We're just going to be us from now on.
Exactly. Which is funny because, Walt kind of says that they weren't influenced by the Beatles, but you got to sneak them in somewhere. These sneaky Beatles, they always got to get in somewhere and influence somebody because Walt tried to say it was Benny Goodman. But no.
They sneak in through little cracks in the wall.
They
if you
do.
leave any food around, the Beatles, they just swarm you. You know what I mean?
They do.
So they decided after their trip had ended, you know what? Fuck that. We're going to do whatever. We're going to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the first thing they did was they played this crazy version of a Zappa song.
Uh-huh.
And the club is packed.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people at this club. And the club owner goes up to Walt and he goes up to him on stage while they're playing and he starts pulling at his leg. He's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? You're fucking fired.
Yep.
And like, he said this to Walt and James is like, "Brr, brr, what did he say? Brr, brr, brr." She's like, I think we're fired. Brr. He's like, oh, fuck. And so, like, the guy's like, he gets on the stage. Okay, we're going to take a little break. Everything's good, but we're going to take a little break, have another drink, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nothing
apparently...
to see here, folks.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Nothing to see
Nothing
here,
to
folks.
see here. Move along. These are not the droids you're looking for. And apparently, Robert on the Lamb was very upset
Yes.
because he dove off the stage and started fighting the fucking club owner.
Yes.
Apparently, he just grabbed him by the neck, like Simpson style. It was just like, ah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the club owner grabbed him by the neck. They were like, ah. And they were literally like rolling on the ground fighting in the middle of this fucking club.
Yeah.
And eventually, the rest of the band members broke it up. 'Cause apparently, James is kind of a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
And he was gonna like fucking murder this guy.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's like when these guys sit and they talk to you, they almost seem like kind of unsuspecting, but then you got to remember, like, this is Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, they're not afraid to throw down a couple of punches, especially on the Lamb.
So they get in a fight with the club owner, and he's like, you know what? You're not only you never work in my club again, you're never working anywhere again.
Come on, guy.
And they said, we're the next big thing, right? I don't know if you're aware of this, but we're going places.